Are you saying to me that atoms and molecules are somehow conscious? Well, personally, I think that they are, at least in a very, very narrow sense. As Alfred North Whitehead said, biology is the study of large organisms, whereas physics is the study of small organisms. The basic idea here is the more complex the holon, the greater the depth of its interior experience. Your nervous system is far more complex than a penguin's nervous system, which is why your interior consciousness goes so much deeper than a penguin's does. Your dog's brain is much closer to your brain than a worm's brain is in terms of its complexity, which is why it's so easy to fall in love with your dog and why you keep forgetting to take your pet worm out for a walk. So I certainly don't think that atoms are conscious like human beings are conscious. They don't feel pleasure or pain, for example, but I personally believe that even subatomic particles possess some tiny sliver of interiority, some minuscule spark of a feeling of being. So if I ask myself, is it something to be an atom? My answer is sure, but it's not much. The greater the holon's complexity, the greater its consciousness, which to me offers the most simple and elegant and really satisfying solution to the mind-body problem that I can think of. There's no ghost in the machine because the ghost and the machine are not two different substances. They're not separate from each other. They're two sides of the same coin. In other words, some degree of interiority is intrinsic to all matter and to all life wherever we find it. Every outside has an inside, and this perfect symmetry of exteriors and interiors goes all the way down, even to the first subatomic particles to emerge after the Big Bang. Which means that we don't need to look for some special mechanism that allows consciousness to emerge in the universe, because consciousness is not an accidental byproduct of evolution, but simply the interior dimension of evolution at every level of scale. But it doesn't really matter where you personally want to draw the line. Maybe you think your pet worm has some degree of interiority, but this adorable little tardigrade here doesn't. That's totally fine. Some of us thinks it makes sense to push it as far as it goes, turtle interiors all the way down. Either way, by the time we get to things like reptiles, birds, and mammals, I'm betting there's a good chance you recognize some degree of interiority behind their eyes looking back at you. It has an interior of some kind of inner agency. It is something to be a holon.